I'm about to be playing with Pro Tour disc golfer Joel Freeman, playing a lot of local stuff this year. But he is fully open bag now, sponsored mainly by Infinite this year, my sponsor as well. And being someone who's reviewed a billion discs before, tries out all the new stuff, and has a lot of those discs, I asked him if there was anything he needed. So I brought him a massive box of discs in like 3 or 4 different categories, and I'm seeing if there's any. Yes, okay, some of these are gonna be so good for what he's looking for. I'm very intrigued to see if he wants to even entertain them at all. And then we're gonna play practice round in tomorrow's video, but I just first want to get him trying out a bunch of new discs since he's been like Innova forever. He was looking for understable drivers and understable rollers, like 9-speed rollers, as well as maybe stable mids. And then I asked him this morning, he said maybe some putters. I mean, any of these that he wants, they're his. I'm just gonna organize them. Lots of options. Some rollers, mids over stable 9-speed, Metal Flake DD, some Graces, trails. I think we're gonna have him eliminate them first by feel, and then throw the ones that he likes the feel of. Feel, I think, is something that is pretty underrated. Of course, you can throw a disc and maybe it gets the flight that you want, but if you don't like how it feels, don't even try to put it in your bag. There's no reason. You're not going to want to take it out of your bag and throw it. I have tried to put discs in my bag that I didn't like the feel of just because they're the right disc. That doesn't make any sense. All right, got to set it for later. There's way too many.
So we're going to eliminate some just based on hand
I think
feel.
you have to, because you don't. Nice. I mean, if you don't like the feel of a disc, you don't throw it. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
We talked about kind of 3 things that you were intrigued about.
Yep.
And then I brought out a 4th because we kind of talked about it a little this morning. Ooh. First, this is the Omen mold. It's like the Jester prototype, but you had said that you were intrigued about that.
Sure.
It's a little domey run, so I don't know if you're into that, but
feels great.
Yeah.
Feels stiff. You know, nothing against Innova, but you know they just don't make a lot of like super stiff discs, and some people like that. Real. They exist absolutely, especially some of the recent like the Halo Champion stuff. But yeah, this feels great.
Cool. These are some more throwing putters. I know you're not super like in need of any, but a couple sleepers. This is the Cash from Hooligan Discs. It's kind of beaded over stable.
Yeah.
Thrower. You're a judge thrower, so I don't think any of these would dethrone. This is the Kratos. Z Kratos.
Oh yeah,
stable
I already know what that's about.
And then a couple Envies.
Sorry, I skipped to this
You're
one.
good. Feel free.
Yep.
It's pretty straight for an Envy.
Yeah, and I'm into the Proton plastic. I know that's a like subjective thing, but I really like the thing that worries me about the Envy, and I mentioned this to you already, is like that inner rim seems to tilt out just a little to where I feel like it's slipping out a little, but we'll experiment with it. It's been a while since I've thrown it. So yeah,
that's another Envy, and then this is a Praxis, which is like straighter. It's like in between Proxy and Envy. It's like it's Thought Space disc. Same. I have the Mint Disc Bullet in my bag. Same mold. They just lease it to a bunch of companies. But that's a stable run of the Praxis.
Bullet? This is a...
Yeah, so that's the Praxis. This is the Bullet.
I thought the Bullet was like a beaded thing.
That's the Bullet. You might be thinking of the Prophet. The Prophet's the beaded one for Mint discs.
I would give this one a Kleenex before you hand it to strangers or
what happened
friends.
To it?
It's got your mucus all over it.
What are you talking about?
No, it's got something on it. It's kind of liquid.
Oh, the putter that rolled in the water, it goes right next to it. So that's where I pulled it from.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Weird. I totally I mean, it does have the slightest sneaky little bead, but I thought the Bullet was like beaded. Yeah. I thought the Bullet felt a little more like this, honestly.
Yeah. Any of these making it to the throw round?
I mean, yeah, I'll mess around with the Praxis. Yeah, I'll give the enemy the Envy and the Praxis.
Just stable mids. You said that you're interested in the Crux. Just one, or you've known about it.
Yeah.
And then this is a Guava from Clash Discs.
You know what?
Which is like slightly stable, maybe similar to the Aftershock you're liking.
I was gonna say we had that whole conversation about the Aftershock, and that is a slot. I thought of the Crux as being more in that like zone gator kind of deal.
Yeah, not quite.
Do you think it's like a little more stretchy than those?
Yeah, it's closer to MD4, I think.
A little faster? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, now you got me interested.
I should have brought.
I mean, the MD4 I feel like was a little bit of a flop. Like it didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Into it, yeah.
It's just like a different run of MD3 almost. Whereas like, for it to be a whole different disc, I feel like they would have had to like rework it a little bit.
Interesting. The new Discmania made ones. I should have brought one of those too because they're a little different, but it's similar to the MD4. I like Personally,
it.
I like that because it's a little smaller diameter.
I'm interested. Yep.
But yeah, this one has a very different feel. Surprisingly
Yeah,
stable for like how it looks, but it's not for everybody. I wanted to throw it. I like the guavas, have some on my site, but I didn't think you'd like it, but I thought I'd bring it out. Doesn't seem like a Joel Freeman
You
style
were
disc,
right.
not gonna lie.
Yep.
Do you want to take out the Omen or no?
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Keep
Might as
it.
well. I mean, I don't. Like, this is a disc that's just like it's not going to surprise me, but it's a good disc.
Mess around with it.
Yeah.
Potential 9 and 10 speed rollers.
Yes.
Some of them I think are going to be a little more stable than like what I would pick for a
Like
roller,
this
but you
one.
obviously throw farther. That's the recycled Avenger SS. That
Yep.
could be a really good
This'll do.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's the Thought Space Mantra.
Yeah. Okay. I'm intrigued. I mean.
Yeah, it's a little more overstable than typical. It's kind of similar to this one.
Love
This is the
the
Freetail.
feel. So this is what?
The Freetail from Mint Discs. Like a flippy 10 speed. They're both a little more overstable than their numbers suggest, but they're still pretty flippy.
Not loving the hand feel of either one of them, but that one looks like it should be flippier than that.
Yeah,
But
recycled.
you got
heat.
these recycled.
Yeah, it's just
It's like somewhere between base and premium.
No, it's just ESP.
Really?
It's just ESP. They just took the regrind and made more discs.
ESP minus the shimmery.
Yeah, that's Doomsday Disc Blackout. It's like an understable 8-speed.
Mushroom butt.
Interesting disc. I figured bring it out because I had it.
Say, what's it called?
Blackout.
Blackout.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, you know that.
Nope.
New Halo Mambo.
Yes.
Function. Yeah. I need to make a review
forgot
with
about
these two
the
discs.
function.
And then I was like, oh, this is exactly like what you're looking for, potentially. So, not the F9. Trash Panda Ozone. A little slower.
This is why it's an enormous profile. Like,
It's a
you're
thick
throwing
boy.
2 discs.
Oh my god.
Because of how domey that is.
Yeah.
Was this Ozone?
Ozone, Trash Panda.
Numbers?
86-31.
Oh.
Very similar to Function. Those runs are pretty flippy. They're a little stiffer side. He has a
See,
bunch of different runs of them.
I just like the hand feel of the function, though.
Yeah, it feels good.
It says 8, but
I think 8, 9, 10 speeds sometimes are
it could
pretty
be
similar.
8.5.
This one I think is a sleeper. Streamline Shift. So MVP made their Unimold company. It's like I reviewed it against my Sphinx and it was like 2 ticks more understable than my last year's Sphinx.
Really?
Pretty thin profile, but
Yeah, the hand feel. I'm sorry, I can't get behind that.
all right.
Gotta save us some time over
Yeah.
here. So.
That's not bad. That one
Yeah.
let down a lot actually. I'm pretty happy
Yeah,
with that.
yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, and that's what this slot all comes down to, because you've got 20, 30 molds or whatever across all different brands to choose from for that Roadrunner-y kind of slot. And so I can very easily just narrow it down based on
100%.
feel. So,
All right, next. Understable kind of bomber
yes.
driver. So
Yep.
I think this is going to be the category where I have the most misses by far. So,
Okay.
just because there's so much in it.
Uh-huh.
First are these new Sultans. Have you messed around with these yet?
I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're just a little bigger hand feel. They're
maybe
kind of
not-
bombers, not super understable.
I was going to say, maybe not this
Plastic.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, not quite
I
there.
was intrigued by the Sultan, but yeah, it's just not as understable as I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's more like a max distance understable, not like
Yeah.
a gonna just turn and hold forever understable.
right. It still fades at the end, which is what I don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should organize these better. These are Graces. Probably not. They're 11 speeds.
Yeah.
And they're a little understable. Probably more similar to like a Sultan understability, but a little slower, so they're easier to hold over.
Yeah. 11 speeds, to be honest, just kind of freak me out. I've just never really messed with the Wraith. I just don't want to do it. But
So mess around. So a couple more.
we
Here's
got
the trail.
the field and see, because
Yeah.
sometimes you throw an 11, you think it's going to be slower than a 12, or like translate to less distance is what I'm trying to say, and then it goes just as far anyway.
And sometimes they're just like specced weird. Like the 8 speed, you're like, oh, it feels like a 9 speed. That might feel,
Yes,
you know.
totally.
So
Yeah.
similar. These they call them 10 speeds. I think they're 11 to 11.5 speeds. But
Really?
yeah, just in terms of like how they calibrate out. and
Yeah,
they're pretty
I've
understable.
just been seeing, everyone knows the trail. I've been seeing people throw these all over, and everyone I've ever talked to loves them. And so, I don't know, maybe I should too.
Try one out.
Yeah.
And then the one that's the step up, I think, is the new ThoughtSpace Expanse. This is Discraft made ESP. It's a retooled Surge SS mold. And I think it's just like this disc, but like 1 or 2 ticks up in stability. But I think that makes it more throwable, especially how fast you can throw.
Interesting. Okay.
I personally really like the hand feel, but it's like a little bigger in the hand. I can understand people who wouldn't, but personally I like the hand feel a lot.
No, these all feel like so far, Grace, Trail, Expanse all like feel good, but I think faster is going to be the winning
Cool.
feature too.
Okay, well I'll give you
whatever
2 more quick 11 speeds so that they just get out of contention.
Okay.
3 more. The Drive, Paige Pierce's disc. I think it's also a retooled Surge.
I was gonna say that feels
very similar.
pretty similar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Climbos Skyway.
Another 11.
Yeah. I think they tried to make a beat-in Wraith, and they did a pretty good job of it. So it was pretty understable out the box, but a little flat. Then these are MVP waves.
I just don't know what to expect with these. It's literally just the distance thing. I'm like, against my Flip Your Destroyers, is that going to go just as far, or is it going to like hold back 30 feet?
Yeah, that makes sense. A couple waves. I think the second one's a little more overstable than the first one, and these ones are out, you said?
Feels good in the hand. Yeah.
You just put them over here, so I figured.
Yeah. No, I think that is what that is. That what I was thinking? I don't know.
There's a lot of options.
Yeah.
And Metal Flake Horizon DD.
Because I've already got the Grace in there.
Yeah.
This is another 11, huh?
Yep. That's the last one.
I used to mess around with the DD a little bit.
It's like a stable for a DD, but still a DD.
Yeah.
Okay, 12s and up. We'll start. Here's an Ibland Emperor. I think just a good one to toss and see. It feels closer to like an S blend, but pretty understable. It'll probably take like 3 weeks, and then it'll be where you want it to be, but it's not going to start out there.
Yeah, yeah.
But definitely one that if you just want to just have it.
Not the most delicious profile, but
what makes it the profile more delicious?
Well, it's just the dome's just a little low and a little inconsistent. It goes up and then flattens out and then down, which I'd like it to be either more gradual or just higher in the middle.
Yeah, this is the one I put in the bag yesterday. You're not allowed to have it, but it's better.
Yeah. Crash. All right.
Wild Honey.
Yeah, this has been the one that since you.
I really like that run of them.
So flippy. But
it holds, and that plastic, it's like, I think this plastic is similar to Clash's Halo in that it makes it a touch more overstable. I really like that one.
Okay.
Especially for the flippy driver slot.
Oh, this is also Wild
Honey. These are all Wild Honeys. They're just a couple stamps and a couple different feels. This profile is a lot worse than that profile.
Definitely.
Yeah, this is by far the best profile on all of them. These are a little flatter.
Dang. Yeah, these.
And this plastic feels better too.
These feel kind of gross. These two, they're like they're fine. You never know, and depending on the arm speed and all. But this,
I think that's the one that when you're talking about what you needed, that's the one that I pulled it from. I pulled it from my giveaway that I have for later in the year. So I'll have to buy people another one. But Strive Latitude 64 understable 13 speed. Kevin Kiefer Signature Series. A little more domey, and then the prototype one, which is more similar to the normal one.
Did you say 13?
That's what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty slow 13. Feels nice.
Yeah. I prefer the feel of that one to the other, but they're both good.
Yeah, okay. I'm intrigued.
Don't need to look at any more Pharaohs. Have you felt these Halo G blend ones? It's G-Star Halo.
I didn't know that was the thing.
It's
168.
I think you need to throw
them.
You need to throw them just to see how understable they are. And unfortunately, they make really bad rollers too because they're G-Star. Yeah, they're both G-Star Halo. Because it was Eric Stinchcombe's Tour Series last year, but now it's not 2024, so I put a couple stamps on them. But
crazy. What?
You got to throw them. You can't roll them though because they're G-Stars, so they're not going to stay on the ground.
That's crazy. Yeah. And then that one's just like it's super duper flip.
No, it's an iBlend. It's more overstable than these.
Really?
Yeah. Throw them.
This feels so
that
bad.
One feels worse.
This feels so flippy to me.
Here's Thrasher, ESP Thrasher, Missy Gannon's disc, and the Captain's Thrasher for good measure. This is going to be more overstable than I think what you're looking for, but
interesting.
Captain's version of it.
I'm
getting so much goosebumps on my legs.
Is this a 12 speed?
That's what they call it. Feels like 11 and a half at best.
I don't know why. I just always had it in my head that the Thrasher was like a 13, 5, -3-2 or something.
Oh, like a Hades.
Yeah.
Paul Macbeth and Michigan are pretty easy to mix up, you know what I mean?
No doubt. Same game.
Yeah.
Same
ESP
game.
Zeus. That's a kind of like the destroyer slot, I think, but like starts out understable. So like when you're talking about, oh, I want to beat in, like that's like, okay, let's make a force more
color
amp.
I could imagine.
Yeah, it's so bad.
But
it's the only one I have.
I've been seeing people throw Zeus's around and they're flipping and turning.
Vision time lapse.
Oh.
The understable one. I'm very intrigued about what you think about the feel of it. I'm not the biggest Atmats fan in terms of hand feel, but
it's fine.
teach their own.
I don't know. Yeah, a lot of the. Yeah, I'm surprised because like, I feel like, Discraft has always stuck out to me as the brand that has the best consistency, like run by run. I think people could say, oh, but MVP is better, but MVP only has average whatever 4 runs on all their discs. What's the average run that Discraft has on theirs?
Yeah, how many discs go through a mold?
36, whatever it is, like, people like to like dog on the destroyer. Like every destroyer, well, it's like there are 30 million destroyers that have been made. And so the more, like in order to be in that conversation, I think there needs to exist a certain minimum number if you want to make an argument for a certain mold. Does that make sense the way I said that?
Yeah, makes sense. Last one.
Oh, but my point was, even though I have a lot of respect for the consistency for run by run within Discraft for how their molds fly, the hand feel so far, I just might not be a big Discraft guy. I don't know.
That's a 164 DD3. Crazy flippy. But if you're looking for roller driver, might be decent. Gonzo.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put these in a new bag. We'll go over to the field, throw them up.
Okay.
We'll throw one shot with them at whichever field you want, and then take whatever time you need off camera to figure them out, and take whichever ones you want with you. I don't need any of these back.
Love it. Amazing.
And we can figure it out.
Fat hookup right here.
This is fun. I like doing this with you because you're such just like a Innova guy for so long that.
Oh, dude.
You get to feel all the new goodies.
You don't even know. It's
No, I've been playing disc golf for probably like a third of the time you were on Innova.
I was eight and a half years that I, like, since the time that I've been able to use my imagination and try some new stuff. So it's like so fun. 24 discs in the bag. So if you're wondering how much one of these European birdies Framtid, the small ones, fit, 24 discs, pretty comfortable, as well as some on the sides. Yeah, one throw a piece because we got to get onto the practice round sometime soon. But I'm intrigued to see if you like any of these. I'm sure there'll be some golden nuggets in there. Let the games begin. I've faced myself kind of weird. Get all this junk out of here. All right. Start with some envies. What am I looking for? Why am I throwing this disc? Straighter than I thought, which is exactly what you said. One had a little more beef to it. Okay, now let me throw my judge to compare that to. It slipped out. Good thing I have another one. Okay, that was weird. Full turn in the tail end. All right, praxis. Wow. I thought it might stand up a little bit, and then it just didn't, which is cool.
Yeah, that Erica Stinchcombe one is pretty overstable, surprisingly.
No doubt. All right. Let me throw a chariot, and then the crux. Because what I want it to be is just like a A really overstable version of a Chariot, basically. Yes.
That's so smooth.
Chariot doing Chariot stuff. Really like that shape. So then what does it, hopefully it sits right in between the Gator 3 and the Chariot. That's what I want it to be. And that was an undercommitted shot. Not gonna learn much from that last throw, but that's fine. It's already a disc that I throw all the time. So you said it's the Omen mold. What other name does it have?
Didn't have one yet.
Oh, okay.
It was like a prototype that they ordered. Or got sent to
UFO.
I think that's a mold that Mint has actually. A UFO.
Really?
There's so many molds out there right now.
That's awesome. That's beef. Wow.
Do you like the dome on that? I personally like them a little flatter than that one is.
It's not enough to bug me. I don't mind it.
Nice.
Yeah. Do I only have three?
I don't know if I put them in
Three
order.
flippy 9-speeds? Oh no. Yeah. Okay. Function. Ozone.
Yeah, that should be it. Yep.
Gotta go in order of speed. I gotta go function first because this one feels the best to me. It feels so flippy though. It might be a little too much even for what I want. That's going the distance. Wow, and it's still not turning over. That was crazy. Okay, all right.
Jeez.
Mantra. That was okay. Still not flipping as much as I want. What?
Whoa.
What?
Holy wow. That's a fraud.
That was shocking. Shockingly stable. Wow. That had a nice shape.
Uh-oh.
It's going far. All right, ozone. Wow. I might have landed on top of the Avenger.
Yeah. Jeez.
All right, cool. Excited about the Zeus.
Time for some rips.
Yeah, I guess so. Those freaking G blend Pharaohs are weirding me out. Alrighty. Does anybody else do this? You just like put stuff in your own way and then you just move it a little bit and a little bit more. And all right, I need to imagine I'm throwing one of my own discs, a disc that I know. I yanked over on that one. Not the most fair, that was a weird release. Not the most fair test on that one, unfortunately. Okay, that was cool. Oh, that hand feel was, sorry Thrasher, can't do that.
This is what I'm excited for, to see.
Wild Honey, I already know this is the one right here. What did I say?
Jeez. That landed right next to your rollers.
Yeah. Strive. I feel like this one's not going to be flippy, but we'll see. Huh. Yeah. Slippier than I thought. Wow. My form feels not nice right now. All right, let's see about these weird pharaohs. He's already laughing. All right, we'll see if we can get a good one. Why? Dang it. I'm not throwing them high like I'm trying to.
I gotta think this one's flippy or it's not.
It's a little higher, but still not enough to do anything super cool.
That was ripped.
All right. Okay, now this experiment to see if my 11 speeds are kind of like going just as far or if I'm losing distance. Stable guy.
Yeah, I knew that one would probably be one of the more overstable ones.
Cool.
So like it's like on the edge of the stability.
Yeah.
What animal are you calling?
Nah. Not my best. All right. Okay, for getting it kind of nose up, that was kind of crushed. I don't know. That was weird. Oh, I cranked over on that one. Ugh. Yeah, do you ever do that where you feel in your body like you're having like a slow day in terms of your form, and so then you like torque over on everything because you don't think you're gonna turn it over like you normally would?
Yeah.
That's what's happening. There's a subconscious compensation. All right, trail. See if we can do like a cool buttery straight line. Wow, that's a little flippier than I thought. Okay. Calibrating. Oh, that's way too much hyzer. All right. Didn't do trails justice.
All right, we'll collect them, get his final thoughts, see which disc I'm taking home and he's taking home. And then we gotta go practice this course. We might only have time for one shot at this place now. Just throwing a couple back. You like the Island Emperor.
This thing?
Wait, so you said the tree that's 2 feet from this one was 560?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
1 for 1.
Any thoughts on what you're taking home to work on more?
Avenger SS. What is this? The
Bel Air? Oh no, that's the Skyway.
Skyway. Yep. Skyway, Avenger SS, Ozone maybe, Wild Honey definitely. Me and that disc are friends.
You guys are good friends. Holy cow. All right, so you're taking Island Emperor. Are you taking the Strive too?
This one I'm like, yeah, I'm on the fence about. Definitely Island Emperor, Skyway, Wild Honey. That's my number one spot right here. This thing. This is what I was looking for sure. Which I think they're the same numbers as a turn. Is that right? 12, 5,
Yeah,
neg, 2,
they might
2?
just change like the glide number, which is arbitrary anyways.
Yeah. So true. Which makes sense because I don't like the hand feel of a turn.
Yeah.
But I want, like, that's the flight that I'm looking for. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Zeus, yes.
Sweet.
Even though it's really ugly.
Sorry. If I had a prettier Zeus, I'd give it to you. But yeah, I just wanted to
Just gotta make it look pretty.
Yeah, I was really intrigued to see kind of what you drive with as someone who's at the top of our sport and hasn't thrown a lot of the new stuff. So I'm excited to kind of see if any of these make your bag or not, or Yeah, I don't even know. I was honestly, you wanted to try some discs, and I was like, this sounds so exciting. Just see what you do with it.
Totally.
Because you haven't tried them in a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no. So I think the main takeaways are the Wild Honey was the correct guess from you about that spot. The Avenger SS seems to be the most successful for what I'm looking for, to be able to shape rollers the way that I like to shape them.
I think it's a little faster than the Ozone 2, which is better.
Yeah. Yep.
Touch faster.
And I just like the feel. It just seems like a good disc. And then the Crux. We had this whole conversation about the aftershock and how I was really, really impressed with. I've been looking for a disc that gives you an impression of a true mid-range, not so much an approach disc like a Gator or a Zone, more like the Chariot, but a hybrid of the two, to where it's like a really reliable Chariot. To where you don't really see it finishing straight until it's been in the bag for 2 years or something like that. And that seems to be what the Crux might be.
You push an extra like 40 or 50 feet from your approach discs.
Yes, and the aftershock, I don't like the feel as much in the hand. I prefer the feel of the Crux, so I'll have to kind of like go back and forth between those two and kind of see which one I prefer in the long run. But yeah, and then the Skyway went, I think that was like my second farthest shot, so that says something about,
if you got the turn at all, that's going to be far.
Yeah, so that says something about my predicament of like that 11, 12, and does it really
Well, if you put 12 times love
much
into it, then it makes it go a little farther, I think.
Whoa. Heck yeah. All right, man.
Sweet. Okay, so you're only playing against me with these in the practice round, right?
That's correct. Yep, that's the deal we talked about.
We're taking one down. See you guys in that video soon.